I have seen Starfleet Academy episode 1. I won't delve too deeply into the story. Alan did a very good job of that in his episode 1 review. I will pick up on some of the details Alan may have missed. I'll start off right off the bat. This is peak Star Trek as envisioned by Kurtzman. This is the best Star Trek that he has produced. And when I say best, let me qualify that because the bar is low. What he has produced previously to Starfleet Academy was a sort of Frankenstein version of Star Trek, meaning it had to include things we were already familiar with. Characters like Christopher Pike, Uhura, Spock in Star Trek Discovery, an era we're familiar with told in a different way. This is now far in the future, a different kind of Starfleet. After Starfleet was destroyed, it disbanded over the burn, which was the dilithium crystals disappearing in the entire galaxy. Now they're reforming Starfleet Academy.
Starfleet, period.
Starfleet, period. Exactly. A whole new Starfleet. And Holly Hunter plays Captain Nala Aki. She's 400 years old or something.
Mm-hmm.
In any case,
she's a Lanthanite or something.
Lanthanite. Now, there's an opening scene which to me is fully, like, what I'm saying is this is everything Kurtzman has been trying to do, and now he's unburdened by what has been, which is old Trek. He can do whatever he wants now. And what this is so far in the future, everything is magic. Transporters are walking through doors. And you've got this cast of characters. Not only would I say this is probably more geared towards Gen Z, it's more like Gen Alpha. After a completely bizarre and deadly serious opening with a trial over stealing food, you heard that correctly. It was about stealing food. A child is separated from his mother. And the lead character, which is Caleb Meir, played by Sandro Rosta, is now separated, sort of living scrappy on his own and kind of a bad boy. He's reunited with Captain Nala, who remembers him from the trial and given a choice.
She's the one who separated them.
Yeah, she's the one who feels guilty for doing that. She may have not done the right thing. She says, you had a choice, jail or school. He picks school, obviously. But everything about Starfleet Academy, including the leadership, is very, dare I say, it's very feminine. Very feminine, including the starship itself, the Athena. When viewed from the top, I kid you not, looks like a pair of wings, angel wings. And
it's
some might
in
even
the picture there. It's in the picture there in the back.
It's in the picture, but what I'm saying is when you see it from the top, it looks like wings. It's not particularly, they're not rockets, they're wings. In fact, some might say it looks like a vagina. So everything about, from the design to the attitude, this show is a very feminized Star Trek. Now, we've had great, strong female characters in Star Trek. Too many to name in every Star Trek series that's ever been done. Could we get some balance? Also, another thing that bothered me about the show is how socialist it is.
Yeah.
It's very much leans into socialism.
And you've only seen the first episode.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one, which basically the quick premise is the crew is tested on their first mission. I won't give away spoilers. What this is more about than testing the characters is learning who these characters are. I will say I was surprised by the actor who plays Jaden, who is the Klingon. A surprise with his acting. I'll tell you why specifically. The actor who plays Jaden, a Klingon, is, let's just say it out, it's Karim Diane. Karim Dine plays Jaden. He is flamboyantly gay in real life, as we saw on the red carpet. As a Klingon, he is as masculine as any other Klingon we've seen in the past. The actress who plays Sam is this kind of out of place. We learned she's a hologram, played by Carice Brooks, who has awkward autistic moments because she's only existed for 4 months, a few months.
Yes. Like
It's
maybe three.
Yeah. This isn't for you. It's not for old Star Trek fans. It's not following any sort of formula. I describe it more as like DS9. In addition, I really don't think it's even it might be more for Gen Alpha than Gen Z. After the sort of deadly serious opening of the show, we actually get to see these characters in action, and it's all comedy from there. I mean, the jokes are ridiculous. I mean, a medical officer, played by Robert Picardo, has to help one of the students who has swallowed her comm device. Why? I don't know. This isn't Star Trek for fans of Star Trek. This is space school for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. I think millennials, it will hold no appeal.
By the way, there are Easter eggs galore of Star Trek from the very beginning. The original series. For example, Kirk Plaza, where you can get your lattes.
Right. They named a latte stand after him. I will say the sets and the special effects are impressive, but that's baseline. All the Trek that we've seen under Paramount Plus, the production value cannot be disputed. It looks great. What's lacking here, I think, is the writing. I think they decided we're going after a younger generation. We're taking the skin and the branding of Star Trek, and we turn it into a show for Gen Z and Gen Alpha that is going to have dumb humor. And it's like, look, you can say it's CW, it's beyond CW. It's everything dumb about CW. Not for me. And the jokes are on the level of Marvel humor. You know, when Marvel at its worst in terms of humor, that's the level of humor that they're participating in here.
Let me speak to that for a second, because I think it goes to a lot of what Robert Meyer Burnett's been saying, is that people love Joss Whedon so much that they write like Joss Whedon, and this is a Joss Whedon show. This is basically Buffy in space in terms of the way characters interact with one another and the jokes being told. And the problem is Joss Whedon did it well. Everyone else is just a pale comparison to Joss Whedon, and this is certainly that.
And look, Paul Giamatti and Holly Hunter are actually you can't blame any of the actors for this. So actors, they're fine. The production value is there. It's really in the writing and choices and tone. That's where it fails the most. It's not for me, but we'll probably review every episode.
I mean, do you want to say anything specific about this episode? It's
really just introducing the characters. I don't want to do any spoilers. It's where this fails is, and had an opportunity. And the reason I know that it failed is because of that Starfleet Academy teaser trailer made in AI that I showed earlier, is proof that like you could have done a show that is inspiring. Like I would want to go to Starfleet Academy. I would aspire and find a character that I really like that. I want to be like this person, but I've got to work hard. Everyone is like dealing with a bunch of emotional, like Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids, and they're at best annoying. So, I want to say, but Holly Hunter, Paul Giamatti are actually, they're all, you know what? They're very good actors in everything they do.
No, but, Holly Hunter, look, we could forgive Paul Giamatti for the character they gave him, but the things that Holly Hunter has to do and say in this, there's a point where you just can't say, well, that was the script they gave me, because she does she is so woke, and she does it way too well in this show.
True, but I'm saying that's not the actors. Look.
Yeah, but she's bought into it.
She's a team player. She's
doing what's on the script. Yeah. Oh, okay. So here I will talk a bit about the plot of the first one. So the entire Starfleet Academy is on the Athena, and they're heading to San Francisco. During their flight, Nas Braca, Paul Giamatti's character, disables the Athena, and now they have to figure out how to get the thing started again. And the reason Nas Braca was able to figure out where the ship was because Caleb sent a message to his mother, and Nas Braca intercepted it and was able to find the location. And so basically, he was the one who caused the attack on the ship. And
put everyone's lives at danger. And the way it plays out is so unrealistic.
Yeah.
That is not how it should have been handled.
Right.
In Starfleet. It was terrible.
Yeah, there are scenes in here where people are thrown across the corridor, like a great distance. Someone should have died in this one. No one died.
No one died. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. And his actions could have actually caused the entire class of Starfleet Academy students to perish in one thing. I'll give you the analogy of how this is resolved. Let's pretend that Caleb, he caused the fire that almost burnt down his home and his family in that home. But because he was industrious enough to get the garden hose and try to put out the fire with the garden hose, that we will forgive him for what he did. That is how this episode plays out. You're muted, by the way. You're muted.
It's gonna be on YouTube very soon. In fact, they're showing the first episode on YouTube, and something struck me that I did not notice in the actual show itself, because parts of it were so dark. Parts of it, the show were so dark. It was kind of ridiculous. But if you look at the characters on Paul Giamatti's characters, the side of his head, shaved into the side of his head, is tic-tac-toe. Tic-tac-toe. Let me show you.
Because that's funny.
So we'll put the link in the description. You can watch it for free. And in his head, there it is, tic-tac-toe, in the side of his head.
See, in real Star Trek,
ridiculous.
In real Star Trek, there would have been a reason for tic-tac-toe to be put in the side of his head. Here, it's just funny. Wouldn't it be funny if tic-tac-toe was shaved into the side of his head? That's the reason.
We already did a funeral for Star Trek. Star Trek is dead to me. Like, the version of Star Trek that existed for me as watched through being a kid and most of my adult life, that's over. But we'll see if they get a new generation.